What's poppin', people? It's your boy Juice back at it again. You already know. Hey, if you've seen the title of this video, you already know. You already know what it is. All right, we're about to talk about God's love, baby. The biggest, the bestest, the greatest to ever do it. All right. It's been a couple months I've been working on this. Feel like I finally got it down. So I'm about to come at y'all with the knowledge. All right. I'd like to first start by asking you, the person watching this, to think deeply with your own brain, with your own mind, with your own experiences that have created you. You know what I'm saying? I'd like you to think about what love means to you. What's the definition? What is it? What's love? All right? What's love? Baby, don't hurt me. All right? No more. You know what I'm saying? Think about your definition. Not sex, all right? Not lust, because I know those things can get crossed up quite a bit. All right? Love is not transactional. It's not sexual, you know what I'm saying? Love is deeper, not interest in something, not the fulfillment that you get or the escape that you get from doing that something. All right. Could be hobbies, could be drugs, could be even just spending time with people. Maybe you don't love that person, but you love the feeling that you get off chilling with that person. You know what I'm saying? Hey, not the obligations, not your personal hygiene. All right. Your going to the spa days, not the going longboarding, snowboarding, all that, not getting dolled up, looking good, and that self-love, that self-care doesn't exist. Tough. Hit you with the first in your face brain breaker factoid. Doesn't exist. Self-love, cap. Self-cap, because all you do is cap to yourself when you say that. Out of here, boy. What you mean, man? I want you to think about true love, which even this, all right, if I'm gonna be real, ops, we ain't riding around with them, bro. Anyway, even true love, if I'm gonna be on a real point here with you, is a thought that's difficult for me to say, because in today's day and age, it's so manipulated. Manipulation. I'm sick and tired of this spiritual manipulation. Man, let me take a little drink of my coffee milk real quick. Sick and tired of this manipulation by today's fairy tales in Hollywood, Disney, prince and princesses in their crown, living happily ever after. Bro, it's just crazy because, like, prince and princesses, if you really think about it, it's just, the princess is like lusting after the crown, and the prince is lusting after the bunda, you know what I'm saying? The cheeks, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like, happily ever after. Like, what's happily ever after, bro? They get to run the kingdom. They getting married. They getting down with it. You know what I'm saying? Because, bro, like, love is more than that. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get to that, bro. But it's just like that true love that you would normally think, like, like when you say true love, it's like, fairy tale, right? It's like, princess, prince, whatever, bull. You know what I'm saying? It's just not the real stuff. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, bro? I'm gonna get into it, bro. Because a majority of people think they know what love is, because they never really thought about it. And that's, I think, a lot of things this is just like something I've been going into, kind of like leading up into my thought process here, is taking like simple things and really thinking about them. You know what I'm saying? Simple everyday stuff. I feel like a big majority of people don't really be thinking too deeply on like the basics. You know what I'm saying? Just really bringing it back to the basics, and just like actually thinking about it, right? I don't feel like not many people be doing that, because even people who preach, all right? And people who are preached to on a daily basis, I feel like even though they preach about the love, right? I feel like even they don't really be thinking about it. You know what I'm saying? Really like just dissecting what love is to a point where it's like they're false advertising it and also not advertising it enough. Like two opposite spectrums, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't trying to like call anybody out, but I think when you really think about it, we got two far extremes in the church where it's like they false advertising and then they ain't advertising enough. All right. You just kind of think about it, right? And if people who are in it every day don't be thinking about it, don't truly be thinking about it and really knowing, then I know people that ain't in church, right? Like me, I ain't in church, bro. I'm keeping it stacked, bro. But people that ain't raised in the Bible, right? Or being in the Bible on a daily basis, if even they don't take the time or realize they ain't realizing, you know what I'm saying? Then I know the people out there, you know, on the tube, I know there's at least one person I can maybe help along the same path that I came down, right? So I'm going to attempt to break it down. And I pause before I say this because if you think God gives you life and life is influenced by God and your experiences are given to you by God, I think God teaches you through life. And that's why I'm going to say I'm going to attempt to break it down how God broke it down to me through life, right? He broke it. I'm 26 years old, bro, and I just recently figured this out, bro. So, and it's because I was thinking back about life and just think about the experiences I had and think about the things that I've known, I've learned, and all that stuff. So that's why I say how God broke it down to me. But know that no matter what, I don't have all the answers. I'm going to fail at being able to break it down as good as God did because it's really just through life and experiences. But I'm going to attempt to do the best I can in hopes that it starts someone else down the road of thought and prayer and a walk with God. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully gets your brain, your cogs turning. All right, that's my goal. I know I'm not going to be able to do it as good as God did, but I gotta at least try. All right. So, without further ado, let's hop up in here. All right. And in order for this to really hit, I'm gonna have to bring it back to the beginning, brother. I'm gonna have to rewind the reel till it ain't seeing no more in the film, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch movies, bro. I don't know anything about that. But I'm taking it back, bro. I'm taking it to Genesis chapter 2, verses 1 through 7. Genesis 2, verses 1 through 7. Thus the heavens and the earth were finished, and all the hosts of them. And on the seventh day, God ended his work, which he had made, and he rested on the seventh day from all his work, which he had made. And God blessed the seventh day and sanctified it, because that in it he had rested from all his work, which God created and made. These are the generations of the heavens and of the earth when they were created, in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens, and every plant of the field before it was in the earth, and every herb of the field before it grew. For the Lord God had not caused it to rain upon the earth, and there was not a man to till the ground. But there went up a mist from the earth, and watered the whole face of the ground. And the Lord God formed man of the dust of the ground, and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul. I got a dog now. So, when God created us, he had already shaped the earth designed the plants and trees, built the animals and everything in between. And when he got to us, he knew exactly what he was trying to do. All right. The perfection. All right. He was able to make us perfectly. The magnum opus, the best of the best, bro. So good. And I'm getting a little ahead of myself, but even the angels was like, damn, them days. They're like, hey. They was like, hey, little mama, what you doing all the way over there? You know what I'm saying? Bro, God made such a good, just a perfect, the best, purest art form possible that, bro, it was even bringing the angels to the knees, bro. For real. His magnum opus, so beautiful, even the sons of God envied and lusted after us, right? Not only did he make us physically stunning works of art, but he also gave us life, which is said it. You just read it. I just read it to you, right? Gave us life from his own breath, all right? A piece of him he could never get back. You like I know we don't know like 100% what God is, how it is. Obviously, he says that he made us in his image and whatnot. But, we don't really, you can't fathom God. You know what I'm saying? But the specific word is breath, right? And you only get a certain amount of breaths, right? At least that's what I think. And I mean, if for the analogy, you know what I'm saying? He gave us something he could never get back, right? So the first act in our relationship as human and God was God sacrificing something for us, right? It's just wild. That's a wild, like, it's like the little things, you know what I'm saying? It's a wild little thing. That's love, right? First act was love, right? And there's a little side tangent, but he also gave us the ability to feel a portion of that love through birth, right? Through creating another human, right? And that's why, like, marriage is so emphasized, because fake love just destroys shit, bro. Right? I can say that because, hey, I'm a bastard. All right? So I know what it is, and I know what it ain't. And hopping up on shorties, busting out kids with no terms, you know what I'm saying? Nothing binding y'all together. I ain't got no words, bro. But moving on. On top of all that, he gave us our own private residence in the earth. He gave us the earth, right? The garden. He gave us the best. He gave us the best of the best residence, right? Up in the Hollywood Hills, the hills of the Hollywood Hills type, you know what I'm saying? The mountains, the best real estate, bro. Lakefront, beachfront, oceanfront property, bro. Straight on it like that, right? Private residence, gave it to us, the best of the best. He could come over and visit whenever, right? He'd come in and out, whatnot, to walk, talk, and share the creation that he made with us. Because, hey, bruh, just another little side tangent, but like, hey, who was loving God? Who was God able to talk to, bro? I don't know really much about the angels, but we definitely different than angels. And it's like, I don't know, bro. Like, who was loving God, right? Like, who was talking to him? Who was walking, talking, sitting with him, chilling, shooting it? You know what I'm saying? I don't know if it doesn't say he was doing that with the angels. Like, we got pretty blessed. Like, it seems like he made us so that there was someone that could, like, kind of be on his level, kind of understand what's up with him. He met us in his image. You know, maybe he just wanted a friend, bro. Maybe he just wanted he just wanted someone to love, bro, platonically. Like the closest, the best love, bro, is love that's non-transactional, right? You just want somebody to chill with, bro. But hey, so yeah, he could come, he could chill with us and whatnot, but he still gave it to us to take care of and left us alone with it and gave us the free will to go and do whatever. You know what I'm saying? Such free will to the point that he put right in the middle of the crib practically a big glowing button, just right in the middle. Very, very enticing, bro. Very cool looking, very awesome. Like, dang, bro, I want to check that out. Big red button right in the middle that says, hey, betray me, right on it. Like, hey, bro, do me dirty. It's lit. Not only just do me dirty, but it is also lit to do me dirty. You know what I'm saying? And with free will, just let us chill. Just let us walk around. Just, hey, bro, I'm gonna let you know, hey, bro, you're gonna die if you do that. But otherwise, just kick it, right? I'm chilling. Like, dang, that's pretty wild. That's that trust. All right. And yeah, part of love is you can't force love on someone. You know what I'm saying? But we know how that ended, right? Eve got tempted by that little bit, man. That little worm, man. Man, I smacked the dookie out your booty, son. That little snake boy, man. I ain't gonna give him the dignification. All right, you know who I'm talking about. Tempted the shorty, and hey, we got kicked out. Right? Hey, everyone knows that, even if you ain't read the Bible, right? So let's hop to the next example. All right, of love with Noah. Okay, Genesis chapter 6, verses 1 through 8, and possibly a little more. Genesis 6, verses 1 through 8. And it came to pass, when men began to multiply on the face of the earth, and daughters were born unto them, that the sons of God saw the daughters of men, and that they were fair. And they took them wives of all which they chose. And the Lord said, My spirit shall not always strive with man, for that he also is flesh. Yet his days shall be 120 years. And there were giants in the earth in those days. And also after that, when the sons of God came in unto the daughters of men, and they bore children of them, the same became mighty men, which were of old, men of renown. And God saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And it repented the Lord that he made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart. And the Lord said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of all the air. For it repenteth me that I have made them. But Noah found grace in the eyes of the Lord. All right. So, in Noah's day, humanity had completely turned its back on God. All right. I think it was pretty clear in the statement that I read how just abhorrent humanity had been towards the biggest. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that his perfect creation, bro, and that's the thing, the best creation he's ever made. God's done a lot of cool stuff. All right. And we were the best he ever made, right? The peak. I can't express that enough. Bro, look at shorties, bro. Look at girls, right? Because that's like the peak of the peak. You know what I'm saying? He made us, he made the dogs, but then he made the shorties out of the dogs. And that was the final thing. He's like, all right, bro, I can't top it. I can't top it, bro. And it didn't say that the angels came down for the dudes. No, it It said that the angels came down for the shorties. All right. So just off that, just look at a shorty, bro. A shorty that takes care of herself. Peak art form. And as a man, we can only, because not only is she shorties, physically, but then they can also perform. They can create the purest art form, which is another human. All right. So that's like a boom bop. You know what I'm saying? And then guys they can contribute, but hey, bro, that's why we work so hard, because everything we do is just second best to making a little mini me. You know what I'm saying? Wild stuff. But hey, back into what I was talking about. Seeing that God seeing that his perfect creation became so corrupted by evil, naturally, he wanted to start over, obviously, right? Just, bro, someone that you did so much for just throws that back in your face. Bro, yeah, you're going to want to smack him. I know. I want to smack the dookie out your booty, son. All right? I know. Okay? So you know what guys, a little bit, all right? Naturally, he wanted to start over. But within all this evil, there still stood one man above all the rest, though surrounded on all sides by haters and fiends, sinners and suckers. He still stood strong. And that one man was Noah. Right? No, he wasn't perfect, right? Obviously. Everyone's still making mistakes. He's still human, right? Still had the flesh, right? Flesh weak. The heart is willing, but the flesh is weak. All right? But his heart was the Lord's, and that's what it is. That's the core, all right? That's what God sees, the heart, all right? I'll get more into that in a minute. Let's keep it pushing here. I've already been taking too much time. So much so, his heart was the Lord's, so much so that he sacrificed pretty much everything for it. He actually did sacrifice everything, besides his family, right? He sacrificed everything for it, for God. Even though the Lord hates and is hurt by this evil, because you know why the evil hurts him? Because it hurts us. The only way to hurt God is through us. All right? That's why Satan goes so hard on earth and tries to mess everything up so hard and just bust everything up. That's why sin affects us. It's because it's a poison that Satan be trying to fight God with. You know what I'm saying? And in order to fight God, he's gotta hurt us, because he can't reach God. So he's just trying to smack whatever he can reach. You know what I'm saying? But even though the Lord hates and is hurt by all this evil, he couldn't bear the thought of hurting something that he loved, no matter how small. And you got to think about that, bro. I don't know how many people were on the earth at that point, but if it's as many as there's right now, bro, that's like one person, one family out of a billion, bro, billions. That's like 0.00001% smaller. But because of that infinitesimally small little bit, he's like, all right, bro, I can't just toss the whole thing away. There's a little bit of hope. All right? So you telling me there's a chance? You know I got to take it. You know what I'm saying? That's the mentality you got to have, bro. God really was the first hustler. Bro, he was on the grind, bro. On the hustle for love, bro. Straight up. On the hustle and grind for souls, baby. Yes, sir. No matter how small, he couldn't toss the whole thing away. So he spares Noah and once again entrusts his creation to us that we might still enjoy it in the future. Because hey, bro, this earth, bro, life, bro, in general, if you can really see it for what it is, bro, it's pretty tight. I guess actually insano mode. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. It goes loco motion. Anyway, he still wants us to enjoy his creation because, bro, you can make something, and if you ain't got nobody to share it with, is it even really something? I don't think so, bro. Once his loved ones were safe up in the ark, he proceeds to unleash his righteous fury on all the ops and those that worshipped the other ops, bro. Yeah, that's the other thing, bro. These people that were created by God not only betrayed, backdoored, like turned their backs on him. They went and started worshiping his ops, like false gods, like demons, Bro, could you imagine that? Bro, the shorty cheats on you, but not only cheats on you with the ops. Crazy, dog. So he's busting it down on him viciously, right? For days, he tore open the heavens and beat down those who forsook him. Watching them flee to the mountains, bro, that's gotta be sweet, though. Watching the people that were dancing on your grave, fleeing up into the mountains, bro, because you're putting it down. Dang, dog. They're begging you for mercy now. Just a couple days ago they were praying to the ops. They were giving glory to the ops, but now they're oh no, now they're coming back to you, bro. Nah, nah, bro. They're pushing each other down off the rocks that they're trying to hide up on from the water, bro. And they're probably pushing them down into the water, bro. Those are some crazy monsters back then. Some crazy sea monsters whirling around there, bro. A couple of them got munched. Some crazy, bro. Tough times on them, kicking each other down, bro. Probably running for the peaks, And there probably was a little shorty, a little mama that probably got up to the peak of the peak, And then she saw like, dang, no, this water's still coming, bro. She's like, dang, bro. I don't know. I guess it's toast. But she still was, as that water's coming, she's probably holding up her baby. You know what I'm saying, above the water, just get a couple more breaths. Maybe probably hoping that, hey, bro, once she's dead, maybe if she dies before her baby, maybe God will save the baby, bro. Little mamas holding their babies up to God, right? Because it wasn't the baby that caused this. It was the mama. So that baby, she knows that baby about to be paying for her own sins, for her own issues. That's crazy. And if I'm to believe that God loves us as much as I believe God loves us, no matter what, He still got love for us. Gotta believe seeing that mama do that, watching that baby, gotta believe that broke him down. And it literally says it does. It literally says it does, bro. All right. Because why then would He give us a covenant? All right. The rainbow to signify that He would never do it again. Why would He do that? Why would He give us that, right? If it didn't hurt Him as bad as it did, which it did, because it says it did. And also He gave us a covenant to say that He would never do that again, because no matter what, even if everyone in the world is evil, bro, Even if there's no saved people in the world, bro, there's still innocence. There's still the babies. There's still the kids. And seeing that, it's like, dang, bro, I can't be doing that again. I gotta find another route. And find another route he did. And that's what we're going into next, right? It is crazy, bro. Again, there's another side tangent, but bro, seems like a recurrent theme everywhere I look that the symbols that God gave us are nowadays taken and used to mean the exact opposite. The rainbow that was given to protect innocence is now being used by the group of people that wants to take the innocence away, down to the baby. I don't, bro, maps need to get burned. Yeah, but we keeping it on. So now we see that our creation was an act of love. I'm trying to keep it. I'm trying to gather all y'all back up in here. I know I've been going on all around. So now we see that our creation was an act of love and that sacrifice to bring us life, right? With the breath, right? In our creation. Entrusting us with his creation, all right? With the earth. Twice, bro, he trusted us with it. Even though we very clearly did not deserve a second chance. And he gave us forever, always gave us this, the gift of free will to reject that love. All right. To the point of a very valid crash out because of that rejection, but still holding back because of the love that he has, that he has for one outweighs the hatred of an infinite amount of people, right? And that's some stuff that America was, and I talked about this in like one of the other videos I was on, but that, America, better that 10 guilty people go free than one innocent person die. You know what I'm saying? And that's mentality straight from God, bro. Straight up. And the pain from said crash out resulting in a promise of everlasting love and mercy to prevent the harm of innocence ever again. So, if you're with me, I know I get a little out of pocket, but if you're understanding where I'm coming from and where I've been, I'm going to move on to the next one with Abraham. All right? And this is where it's getting a little, you gotta use your brain. It's a crazy, once it clicks, bro, it's crazy how well it hits, bro. It's crazy. But Genesis 11, verses 1 through 9, and then I'm going to read chapter 12. All right, bro. For like the 500th time, Genesis 11, verses 1 through 9. And the whole earth was of one language and of one speech. And as it came to pass, as they journeyed from the east, that they found a plain in the land of Shinar. And they dwelt there. Boom. And they said one to another, go to, let us make brick, and burn them thoroughly. And they had brick for stone, and slime had they for mortar. And they said, go to, let us build us a city and a tower, whose top may reach unto heaven. And let us make us a name, lest we be scattered abroad the face of the whole earth. Foreshadowing. And the Lord came down to see the city and the tower, which the children of men had built. And the Lord said, behold, the people is one, and they have all one language. And this they begin to do,
And now nothing will be restrained from them which they have imagined to do. Go to, let us go down, and there confound their language, that they may not understand one another's speech. So the Lord scattered them abroad from thence upon the face of all the earth, and they left off to build the city. Therefore is the name of it called Babel, because the Lord did there confound the language of all the earth. And from thence did the Lord scatter them abroad upon the face of all the earth. All right, so we got chapter 12. Chapter 11 was kind of just like to set the scene, I guess. Now, this is verse 1, chapter 12, right? Now the Lord had said unto Abraham, Get thee out of thy country, and from thy kindred, and from thy father's house, unto a land that I will show thee. And I will make of thee a great nation, and I will bless thee, and make thy name great, and thou shalt be a blessing. And I will bless them that bless thee, and curse him that curseth thee. And in thee shall all families of the earth be blessed. So Abraham departed. Oh, that's another foreshadowing. Crazy. I'm about to get into that, right? All right, but keep going. Verse 4. So Abraham departed as the Lord had spoken unto him, and Lot went with him. And Abraham was 75 years old. Old, bro. When he departed out of Haran. And Abraham took Sarai, his wife, and Lot, his brother's son, and all their substance that they had gathered, and the souls that they had gotten in Haran. And they went forth to go into the land of Canaan, and into the land of Canaan they came. And Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto, oh no, oh bless, God did. Starting back in verse 6 here. And Abraham passed through the land unto the place of Sichem, unto the plain of Moreh, and the Canaanite was in the land. And the Lord appeared unto Abraham and said, Unto thy seed will I give this land. And there built he an altar unto the Lord, who appeared unto him. And he removed from thence unto a mountain on the east of Bethel, and pitched his tent, having Bethel on the west and Hai on the east. And there he built an altar unto the Lord, and called upon the name of the Lord. And Abraham journeyed, going on still towards the south. And there was a famine in the land, and Abraham went down into Egypt to sojourn there, for the famine was grievous in the land. And it came to pass, when he was come near to enter into Egypt, that he said unto Sarai his wife, Behold now, I know that thou art a fair woman to look upon. Therefore it shall come to pass, when the Egyptians shall see thee, they shall say, This is his wife, and they will kill me. But they will save thee alive. Say, I pray thee, thou art my sister, that it may be well with me for thy sake, and my soul shall live because of thee. And it came to pass that when Abraham came into Egypt, the Egyptians beheld the woman, that she was very fair. The princes also of Pharaoh saw her, and commended her before Pharaoh. And the woman was taken into Pharaoh's house. And he entreated Abraham well for her sake, and he had sheep and oxen. Oh, hold up. And he asses, and men servants, and maid servants, and some she asses, and some camels. And the Lord plagued Pharaoh and his house with great plagues, because of Sarai, Abraham's wife. And Pharaoh called Abraham and said, What is this that thou hast done unto me? Why didst thou not tell me that she was thy wife? Why saidst thou, She is my sister? So I might have taken her to me to wife. Now therefore, behold thy wife, take her, and go thy way. And Pharaoh commanded his men concerning him, and they sent him away, and his wife, and all that he had.
So, once again, same as Noah, we find Abraham in a very similar position. Bad world, good dude. All right? Actually, bro, it doesn't even really say that Abraham is a good dude, but I think it says his dad is, but it also says how bad everyone else is. So once again, God sees the heart. All right. One of, if not the only, because again, verse or in chapter, earlier in 11, right? It talks about how, the people have one language, and the one thing they decide to do is try and blaspheme God, right? So that's what. So if not the only good man on earth, right? Holy man, if you want to say. Not sure. Again, not perfect. Again, very, bro, literally, first chapter he gets introduced in, bro is basically hoeing out his wife. Like, all right, so definitely not perfect. All right. Just so that he doesn't die. Like, all right. So not perfect. Still seeing the heart, bro. All right. It's tough, but that's what it is. Makes plenty of mistakes, but God sees his heart, his values, beliefs, and his struggles and his sacrifices and his love. Seeing this, God promises him a nation. And after many years, and I'm skipping over a lot of stuff, and after many years and many mistakes, Abraham finally has a son at an extremely old age. I think at like 90. He starts his journey at like 70, bro. He has a kid at 90, though. That's crazy. With a wife who is barren, who can't have kids. All right, so that's crazy. When Isaac, his son, was grown, I'm not sure how old, could be like 16, could be 20, could be 30, I don't know. God came to Abraham and asked him to do something that he never asked anyone up until this point to do, and would never ask anyone else but we'll save that a little bit later. But he never asks another man to do the same. And what is it that he asks Abraham to do? Sacrifice his only begotten son. The whole of his life has led to him having a son, having this son, right? All of his life has led to that point, to that achievement of having a son and being able to continue his lineage and be able to have what God has promised him. It all is on Isaac, his son's shoulders, right? And God asked him to sacrifice him to God, right? Obviously, doesn't say this, but obviously, this gotta affect, bro. This has to affect Abraham pretty hard, right? Your son, your only son, you're not gonna be able to have another son, right? And you gotta kill him. Like, bro, you gotta make you break down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you talk to your wife about it, which I don't know if he did, but like, if he did, it was tough. But he still agreed, knowing that he was God's property. GP, are you with me? Oh, yeah. You in the church ain't going nowhere. All right, he's God's property, right? Nothing is owed to you. Nothing was owed to him, right? Everything that he has gotten up to this point is a blessing from God. Straight up, bro. Life is a blessing. I don't care if you in the trenches or at the top of the peaks. Life's a blessing every day as long as you got a breath. Because that breath, straight from God. Straight up. And, bro, even his breath was borrowed, right? So, Genesis 22. All right. So we got Genesis chapter 22, the whole thing, the long way. And it came to pass after these things that God did tempt Abraham and said unto him, Abraham. And he said, Behold, here I am. And he said, Take now thy son, thy only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of. And Abraham rose up early in the morning and saddled his ass,
and took 2 of his young men with him, and Isaac his son, and cleft the wood for the burnt offering, and rose up and went unto the place of which God had told him. Then on the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide you here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder and worship, and come again to you. And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took the fire in his hand and a knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spoke unto Abraham his father, and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where is the lamb for a burnt offering? And Abraham said, My son, God will provide himself a lamb for a burnt offering. That's crazy phrasing. That's crazy phrasing right there. So they went both of them together, and they came to the place which God had told them of. And Abraham built an altar there, and laid the wood in order, and bound Isaac his son. See that? He bound Isaac his son. No fight, brother. And laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand, and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of the Lord called unto him out of heaven, and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I. And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him, for now I know that thou fearest God, and seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, from me. And Abraham lifted up his eyes, and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in a thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram, and offered him up for a burnt offering in the stead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Jehovah-Jireh, as it is said to this day, In the mount of the Lord it shall be seen. And the angel of the Lord called unto Abraham out of the heaven the 2nd time, and said, By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord. That's crazy, bro. I swear by myself. By myself have I sworn, saith the Lord, for because thou hast done this thing, and hast not withheld thy son, thy only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore, and thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast obeyed my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Beersheba, and Abraham dwelt at Beersheba. And it came to pass after these things that was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she hath also borne children unto thy brother Nahor, Huz his firstborn, Buz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Chezid, and Hazo, and Pildash, and Jipleth, and Nahor, Abraham's brother, and his concubine, whose name was Reumah. She bore also Teba, and Gaham, and Thahash, and Macha. Yeah.
He took Isaac up into the mountain. They made an altar. Abraham bound his son, and Isaac let Abraham bind him. It doesn't talk about Isaac fighting him. It says Abraham bound him, tied him to the altar, raised up his knife, right? He's literally going in with the thrust. He's thrusting, all right? He's probably about like damn near like boom, like knife, like boom, right on it, like boom. Angel comes out immediately, like boom, like probably slaps the knife, bah, or like force field, like boom, right? Blocks the knife, because you gotta think like full commitment, Like Abraham could have just raised the knife and been like, maybe not, JK. Or, he could have been walking up the mountain and been like, never mind, and walk down the mountain, right? Or, there's so many points where if God didn't let him get to the point of actually in the motion of killing, Isaac's already dead, all right? There's a lot of moments for Abraham to back out and not follow through. Dang, bro, Abraham could have even turned the knife on himself. You know what I'm saying? but it was going down. I have to believe that, bro. That's how it played out in my head. Going down, angel smacks it up out of his hand, like, halt! You know what I'm saying? Probably the knife probably like flies over into the bushes where the ram is, you know, something like that. It's like, oh, whoa, you know, it's like, dang. And then, yeah, that's what happened, right? And with that act, with that full 100% commitment that solidified the guy, it's like, all right, no matter what he does, that's, bro, he did everything. He did the most. Yeah, he messed up a lot, but when it really mattered, when it really counted, he was there. He did what God asked. And that's the heart. You know what I'm saying? That's what matters. So Abraham gets that nation, right? And just want to touch on this because this is something me and my little brother was talking about. You know, he was talking about the fear of God, right? And, you know, obviously Abraham was probably scared, right? Obviously. And, you know, he understands, like, nothing's owed to him, that he's dealing with a greater power. Probably got fear in that of, like, oh, dang. You know, what would happen if I didn't? You know what I'm saying? But I think the fear is more of disappointing him, right? Like, the fear of God, like, I know that's preaching stuff, and like, obviously, yes, you know, you're dealing with a greater power, a higher power, and that can just smack you down anytime. But I think I don't know, I think you still have to look at it from a perspective of, like, fatherly love and stuff, you know? Like, yeah, your dad can spank you or whatever, but it's more, I'm more scared of disappointing the pops, the OG, the big guy, you know what I'm saying? That I am afraid of, like, any pain. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's a good illustration. I don't know. But that's a little something that I just thought of. But now we're going to be moving on to the biggest, the bestest, the most peak, the tightest to ever do it. All right? The dang MG or MJ, Larry Bird, Muggsy Bogues, AI, all combined in one of life, right? Jesus, Big J, the extra capital bold J, you know what I'm saying? Jesus Christ, all right? The best. See, Jesus really, bro, really, like, this is where I started, right? I had to flesh everything out. I tried to just start, but in order to really grasp and fully respect and, like, just, bro, see the aura of Jesus, you know what I'm saying? You really gotta start from the beginning, and there's, like, even more that I could really hit with, but I still gotta kind of keep it in a timely manner for the Gen Z slop brain riders, you know what I'm saying? Hopefully y'all enjoying my little workouts I got going over here. You know, that's pretty tight. But anyway, Jesus is the perfect example of love, and this is why. So yeah, now we got Mark 12 verses 28 through 30. And one of the scribes came, and having heard them reasoning together, and perceiving that he had answered them well, asked him, which is the first commandment of all? And Jesus answered him, the first of all the commandments is, Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God is one Lord. And thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind, and with all thy strength. This is the first commandment. Notice there's no flesh in there. And the last one we got is Mark 10, verses 17 through 22. And when he was gone forth into the way, there came one running and kneeled to him and asked him, Good master, what shall I do that I may inherit eternal life? And Jesus said unto him,
why callest thou me good? There is no man good but one, that is God. Who thou knowest the commandments: do not commit adultery, do not kill, do not steal, and do not bear false witness, defraud not, honor thy father and thy mother. And he answered and said unto him, Master, all these have I observed from my youth. Then Jesus, beholding him, loved him, and said unto him, One thing thou lackest: go thy way, sell whatsoever thou hast, and give to the poor, and thou shalt have treasure in heaven. And come, take up the cross, and follow me. And he was sad at that saying, and went away grieved, for he had great possessions.
Our main flaw, which I touched on, is giving into the temptations of the flesh. Pleasure, power, and the vain pursuits of, bro, just think about it. Like everything in the world, right? Like, bro, drugs, sex, money, bro, just like the power of over anyone, bro, fame, bro. It just like everything. Like, I know it's fun and it sounds sick, and like, yeah, it can be used for good and whatnot, but it's so easy to just, because it's so much more fun to be bad, bro. It's so much fun to, bro, to just mob beat, bro, to just, bro, it's so much fun to just, yeah, be like respected, be feared, right? You know what I'm saying? To just do what you want, you know? It's mad fun, right? It's very enticing. Like everything, yeah, as a human, like the real fun stuff is bad, bro. It's just being bad. Just breaking laws, bro. Just causing havoc and stuff. Just taking. You don't work for, you just take. You know what I'm saying? And just, bruh, not caring about anyone else but yourself is like mad fun, right? Like doing all that stuff, all those vain pursuits, and it's always at the expense. Like if you're really trying to have fun, like the most fun is usually at the expense of other people. Like that's just really it, bro. That's really it. The most pleasure is typically just at the expense of others. And I know you can say like being good, like giving, you know, being charitable. Yeah, it does feel good and stuff, and it is nice, but it is not as good as being bad. All right. I'm just going to keep it a stack with you, right? The flesh, it's just innately us, because that's what we are. All right. We chose that. That's what it is. All right. And I'm not about to just step around and be like, yeah, it's not, bro, because it is. I'm gonna just keep it. I'm always gonna keep it a stack. All right. Next, we got Luke chapter 4, verse 5 through 15. And the devil, taking him up into a high mountain, showed unto him all the kingdoms of the world in a moment of time. And the devil said unto him, All this power will I give thee, and the glory of them. For that is delivered unto me, and to whomsoever I will give it. If thou therefore wilt worship me, all shall be thine. And Jesus answered and said unto him, Get thee behind me, Satan, for it is written, Thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. And he brought him to Jerusalem, and set him on a pinnacle of the temple, and said unto him, If thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down from hence. For it is written, He shall give his angels charge over thee, to keep thee. And in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. And Jesus answering said unto him, It is said, Thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. And when the devil had ended all the temptation, he departed from him for a season. And Jesus returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee, and there went out a fame of him through all the region round about, and he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all. Jesus is God in human form. He made us, he made the world, and he made everything in it, right? He knew to the fullest extent the desires of the flesh at depths that we will never even be able to begin to comprehend. Because you got to understand, bro, he's been watching everything that we've done, everything we've invented. He already knew what was up, right? He knew the craziest things that we were going to do before we did them, because he knew the limits of his creation, the possibilities of his creation. You know, like you don't like, yeah. So and on top of that, he's just been watching us just push the limits. You know what I'm saying? For thousands of years or however long at this point. So he's seen everything that's possible and how fun it is and how awesome it could be and how lit you can get. You know what I'm saying? Bro, so he knew. And that's the other thing is we only get tempted by the limits of what our life experiences are. You know what I'm saying? You get what I'm saying? Like we can only be tempted by what we know, and we don't know everything. You know what I'm saying? So imagine being tempted by, like maybe you get, maybe you tempted by drugs, bro. Or maybe it's like money, or maybe it's the huzz or something. You know what I'm saying? And obviously you can have more temptations, whatever, but like imagine getting tempted on like knowing all the temptation, like all levels, max stats and everything. You know what I'm saying? And yeah. And on top of that, you get the king of this realm, the original tempter, the best of the best. All right. Again, I ain't gonna give him the credentials. I ain't gonna give him the chance. Stupid. I ain't gonna give you the chance. Spit on him. You know what I'm saying? You know who I'm talking about. The dust eater. You know what I'm saying? Which, hey, that's a funny little thing. Hey, we're made out of dust. And he said that the serpents are going to eat the dust. That's crazy. But you know who I'm talking about. Came down to Jesus, right? And then proceeded to show him. So obviously, yeah, he knows what it is, right? But then he shows him. He shows him exactly what it is in real life. POV right there. You know what I'm saying? Puts it up, shoves it in his face, shows him, hey, look at all this sick stuff. This super dope thing. The funnest fun you could ever have. I can give you that. I can give you the power. You know what I'm saying? I can make you He-Man. Right? Shows him all that. When he's at his weakest, actually, during a 40-day fast. Shows him all that. Still says no. Jesus still says no. Right? At the temptation that we could never even fathom. Right? Like I don't know how to like really get this, but it's like insane, like tempting, like you could never even imagine. Right? Because still refused it because he knew, even though he could experience the most pleasure in existence, had the most power ever, have the best time ever, he still knew that was only a finite amount of time that he could experience that. And on top of that, he would be letting down everyone in existence, right? Everyone ever, right? That was on his back. He knew that if he didn't succeed, everyone ever would be doomed, cursed forever. No saving him. He's the only shat, right? He knew that. On top of also knowing all the crazy stuff he could experience. So he could have just met, bro, I know majority of y'all people would probably be like, whatever, bro. Bro, I don't care about everyone else, bro. I'm getting lit. For the rest of my life, I can be lit. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All the huzz? Yes, sir. Bro, y'all, I know majority of people wouldn't even have a second thought. Yeah? Big booty Latinas? Bands? Bro, and I got the feds to do whatever I want, man. Yes, sir. All right. But instead he chose not only not only did he not choose the pleasure, right? But instead he chose to teach. He decided to do the difficult, right? The stuff that sucks, right? He decided to teach, right? He decided to heal people, help people, right? Feed people. He decided to be a genuinely good contribution to the community like no one ever was, right? He was out here handing them out, bro. And he would work too. He worked. He was a carpenter, right? He built. He not only did teaching hard stuff, but he physically labored when he could have been sitting on a pile of cheese, feet up in the breeze. You know what I'm saying, bro? He chose to do the exact opposite. Do the stuff that no one wants to do. Bro's only got one, like he knows he's only gonna ever experience this one. He still chose to experience the tough, the difficult, the struggle. Still, I don't think, do you understand how much of a decision that is when offered the best of the best and he chose to be still the lowest of the low? I don't know. Anyway, still chose to do all that, exactly what he expects from us and more. I don't know no other mythology, no other god that expects something, lays out what he expects from us, and then not only does that, but comes down, puts himself exactly in the same shoes that he's expecting us to walk in, and then runs. Does it even better. Does it even farther. Does it even more than ever would have been imagined. Records set, never to be broken. You know what I'm saying? I don't know any other mythology. Hey, bro, let me know. Because I know there ain't. Alright? But let me know. Let me know. I'll be waiting. But I won't, because you won't. Anyway, all the while he's doing all that, I just talked over, all the while, knowing that in his time of need, those people that he taught, that he healed, that he fed and helped, whose houses he built, he knew that in his time of need, those people would abandon him immediately without a second thought. His family would stand and watch as his closest friends, the people that he spent all of his time with, that he was closest with. Bro, I don't know about y'all, but I'm assuming that you ain't kissing your homies, bro. I'm assuming that y'all have too sexual of a head to be able to kiss your homies and not think that it's gay. You know what I'm saying? I'm assuming that. So imagine you can be so tight with your homies that giving them a kiss, giving them a hug is just shown as an actual sign of platonic love. You know what I'm saying? You know how tight you got to be on that? How much you got to be in sync with each other? All right? That's how close that Jesus was with his homies. And then taking that sign of closeness, that level of closeness, and using it to betray him with the kiss on the cheek from Judas. That's crazy. And yeah, they would betray him to his worst enemies, the people that hadn't even been fighting the whole time. His best friends betraying him to his worst enemies, right? He knew this. He knew all this, how it would go down. His enemies, who were his own people, the very same people that came about as a result of the mercy and the love that God showed to Abraham and Isaac, as a direct result of God sparing Isaac. These people who were Jesus' people came about and got to where they are now, directly because of this covenant that God had with Abraham, and how God spared Isaac. All right. And wouldn't you know it, bro? Wouldn't you look at that couple thousand years later? What's going on? Jesus sent his only begotten son down to earth. The culmination of this point, everything has led up to this point. The whole reason since Noah, probably even since Adam, I don't know, led up to this point, thousands, however long of years, has led up to this point of Jesus, of Jesus coming down, God's only begotten son. Jesus allows these people to take him, to bind him up, to beat him, tarnish his reputation, try to tarnish his name, falsely accuse him, mock him, spit on him, rip him to shreds in the worst way, torture him. The whole while Jesus is allowing this to happen. All God had Abraham do was bind up Isaac. Jesus is going through the worst pain imaginable, while also being completely torn down as a man in society, with his name being thrown around as a liar, as a blasphemer, as a false prophet, and then finally being killed, murdered. His last, they made him drag up the thing that he was going to be killed on, nailed him to it, hung him up for the whole world to see, for everyone to see, laugh at, ridicule, just watching him die, not helping him. In fact, when they messed with him in his last drink, his last taste, his last experience on earth was drinking vinegar, was tasting something that hurt him while he was in an immense amount of pain. Exact same shoes he expected us to walk in. Or already gave the same gave Isaac the mercy, bro. It's just crazy, bro. Honestly, I don't even know. It's just crazy. It's the exact same. He didn't do anything that he didn't expect us to do. You know what I'm saying? Plus, he did more. He went all the way. God stopped Abraham. Didn't stop everyone else. Followed through with it. It's pretty wild. That when I thought about that really hit me real hard. And yeah, bro. And even though he knew all that, everything I just explained, he knew all that. The temptations, the fact that the love would never be returned, he still chose to love us anyway. Knowing that love not only wouldn't be returned, but it would actually be returned with the opposite, with hatred and just the opposite, bro. Still chose to do the hard shit. Still chose to love us regardless. To the peak, and that's like, and that's love, bro. Is sacrificing, trusting someone, and not forcing them to return that, knowing or not expecting anything in return. You know what I'm saying? Sacrifice, trust, and free will. Freedom. Not expecting anything in return. Still sacrificing. Still trusting. still, yeah, and that's love. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I got. And hopefully, hey, hopefully it helped y'all. Hopefully makes y'all think, at least think a little bit. Just take the time, think about like the simple stuff and what it really means. But yeah, I should try and I kind of want to, after doing all this, I kind of want to really go down and take that sacrifice, trust, freedom, and really just dissect those three individually to really, like, I guess, just solidify what my statement here, which is love is sacrifice, trust, and free will. Right? Because you can't actually love someone without sacrificing something. You can't actually love someone without trusting them. And you can't actually love someone by forcing them to love you. You know what I'm saying? So, and this is all stuff. That's what I see as God's example of what love is, because this is what he's done for us. So, to more solidify, put my statement on a solid rock foundation, feel like I should go about and really deep dive on every single instance of that in the Bible, and kind of tie it together. But I wanted to get this out of the way. Been working on it for months so that I can start making some more stuff. Because yeah, this was just, I knew I had to get this done first before I moved on to anything else. It's like my 5th, 6th time trying to record this, plus the times I didn't record it. So yeah, I think it hit this time, hopefully. But let me know. Maybe I'm Cap. Maybe I'm running around in the forest. Don't know. I don't know. But I think I do know. And yeah, I'm open to debating that, or just having other ideas popped up. All right. So hey, without further ado, appreciate y'all. Love y'all. On God, baby. Bless y'all.